Welcome to this new tutorial. So last time we worked on being able to pick up an item and now it shows up in the inventory. So today we'll learn how to drag an item out of the inventory to delete it. The first thing that I'm gonna do is make the UI, the widget that's going to pop up to tell us to confirm if we want to delete the item or not. So let's do that first. So I'm just going to make a new folder here and call it maybe pop-up. Let's do pop-up and make a new blueprint class. Let's do a user widget. So we'll do WBP. Let's call it I'm gonna call it I'm going to call it delete item widget. Here we go. Cool. So inside of it we will need let's do a canvas, then a size box. Let's do a size of 350 by 150. We can change that later, but that's what I'm gonna use. That's going to be the size of the widget. Now let's add an overlay in the size box, followed by an image. There we go. And let's change the color, and I'm gonna make it black and change the transparency to something like 0.5. Actually, maybe not black. Let's go for something like some kind of gray color. Yeah, that should do. Right. Next, let's do some vertical boxes. So let's do vertical box, add it in here, and some more vertical boxes inside of it. So we'll do 1, 2, and 3 of them. Alright, let's set them to fill, save that. Let me do another overlay inside of the top one here. Put it to fill and image. Great, now I'm going to change the color. Let's do, something like this. Great. And let's add some text. Some text to it. Beam. Say delete. Change the size of it to something like 20. Wait, maybe let's set this to regular. Maybe I made it a bit too small. So let's change this. I'm gonna go to the size box. Oh, wait. Oh, that's why. Okay. Need to change this. Alright. So that should fix it. So change the size here also. Alright, now that looks better. So let's go back to the text and put it in the middle. Nice. Okay. So now I'm going to select the vertical box and let's just change its size to like 0.2. Change this one to 0.6 and 0.2. Actually, let's do 0.5 and 0.3 here. 0.3. Alright. Cool. Nice. So now let's do, in this box is where we're going to display whatever we are deleting. So let's say you're trying to delete some potion, you'll say, so we know that this widget is going to open and say the amount of potion that we are trying to delete. So let's do that. We'll do actually need some horizontal boxes. So we'll do a horizontal box in here, fill, followed by 2 more inside of it, and use fill. Great, now we got 2 boxes, which now we can add some text to. So let's do text. Alright, text to the both of them. Great, I'm gonna do something like 12 maybe. And let's change this to regular. And let's do this. Actually, need to do fill. Alright, same thing for here, we'll do fill and do regular 12 and this side. Great. And let's change the text so it would be something like X5, and this one let's do, I don't know, small potion. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. We could make this box a bit bigger so that it's more symmetric, but up to you how you want to design this. Next, let's do, actually before that, since we need to change the text in the C++, so we'll need to name this to something that we can bind to. So for now it's just called text. Let's change it to, I'm gonna use item name text. Yeah. Same for this one. Let's rename it to something like, what can we use? Just 1tt text, I think is fine. Yeah. Alright, cool. Now let's do some horizontal boxes again. So we'll use a big one here, fill, and add 2 more inside of it. Great, nice. Okay, so now we'll do, let's do some buttons. I'll do one here and one here. I'm going to add some padding to this, so let me just expand this and do, let's do 20, 5, 20, oh, no, 20 and 5, something like this. Same for this one. There we go. And let's add some, actually before I do that, let me change the color of the buttons. So I'll go to find the style, actually just the background color, and I'll do some type of red for this one, and this one can be grayish, don't matter. Alright, cool. Now let's add some text. Add some text to the button, so I can drop it there, I'll drop it here. Its size to 12. Let's use regular, and for the text I'm just gonna say yes. So actually let's do 16. Yeah, that's a bit better, and let's give it an outline also. Outline size, am I blind? Yeah, okay, there we go. And let's do the same for this one, so drop it here. This one's gonna be 16, same thing, of outline of 1, and the text will say no, and it should be regular. Did I not change this? 16? Yeah, cool. So now we got the widget, and also, yeah, we are going to need to bind to these buttons so that when we press them we can execute some functions. So let's rename the buttons. So the first button, I'm gonna name it confirm delete button, and the second one we'll name it cancel delete button. There we go. Nice. So now we got the widget done. I'll save, and I think we can close it now. Yeah. Okay, nice. So now let's work on a custom class for it in the C++. So let's do, I'm gonna go to the UIs folder and make a new class here. Let's do it delete item widget, and it's going to be a user widget, and let's place it in a pop-up. There we go, and then we create it. Alright, now we have the new class. What happened? That's not my class. I don't know what happened. That doesn't make any sense. Did I make a mistake? Okay, I don't know what happened. Did I make a mistake when creating them? Anyway, I'm just going to delete them and try again. Let me delete this, delete that, and add Unreal class, use widget, delete item widget. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know why my class is not getting populated with the default stuff, but anyway, I guess it's not important right now. So I guess let's make the class ourselves. Let's see, let me refresh my memory. What, blueprint, yeah, okay. So I guess since it's not giving me the default stuff, I'll put it myself. So pragma once, include minimal, include, we'll need the gameplay tag container, include the blueprint slash use widget, and finally include delete item widget generated.h. There we go, that's what we need. And a u class inventory API, and generated body is that public. Okay, something is up with my rider right now. I'm just going to restart it. Give me a sec. Alright, we are back. Seems like the issue is fixed, hopefully. Alright, this, okay. So the first class that I'm going to need will do a void init delete item widget, and let's do it inventory UI manager, in inventory UI manager, we'll also need inventory component. We'll do that. So, oops, what? Damn it. We'll do in inventory component. We are also going to need a f gameplay tag. Let's do in container ID and then int 32 in slot indexed. Alright, these are the information that we are going to need to initialize this widget and be able to delete an item. Great. So now these are complaining. Let's add the forward declare for this. Forward declare and forward declare also. Great. So now we'll make another function. I'll do a set up screen position. We'll take in a const f to d. Let's do screen position. There we go. So this one we are going to use. So when we let go of the item, we are going to create the widget at the location of the mouse. So we'll use this function to set that position, and we'll do void west close to close the widget. Great, let's make a protected section. We will need a virtual. We'll override the native construct. We can do stuff when the widget is being constructed, and we will need, let's do a U property. I'll make it meta bind widget optional. Wait, that should have been inside of the thing here. So go inside. There we go. So it's going to be a t object pointer of U size box. So we have a size box in the widget. Actually, I forgot what I called it. Was it pop-up? Wait, did I? Oh fuck, I forgot. Let's check something. So I'm going to put this to null pointer and run this for a sec. Actually, I can't run it because this is empty. So, and also this is going to complain. So let's do forward declare this. I'm going to generate all the definitions, of course. So let me just cut all of this and paste them here where they belong. Remove all the inlines. The include is missing here. That's why this is happening. So include inventory UI. All right. So now let me just compile this real quick because I want to check the names that I gave to the stuff in the widget. Alright, so in here the size box, actually didn't give it any name, so we'll do let's do pop up, and the text is this, and the buttons. Yep. Okay, nice. Alright, so you are gonna be called pop up root. Great. And let's do U property bind optional. Let's do a t object pointer. Let's do U button. Let's do a confirm delete button is what I called it, null pointer, and this is complaining, so forward declare this also. Property, same thing again, a t object pointer, the cancel button, U property object U. Okay, so that's all the stuff that I need to bind to, and we also need. And we're also going to need the inventory manager and all that stuff. So let's do that too. We'll need the there we go. That's pretty much everything that we will need, I think. Oh, actually, no, we need more than this. Wait. Let's make a private section also. Let's do a void refresh, so we can refresh this widget. And I did forget, I need some U functions. So void, we'll do handle confirm delete click. We'll go with that. So U function will do that. Okay, so now when we click on the yes button or the no button, these functions are going to be called. All right, so let's generate them. Cool. So let's start with the init function. All right, we'll do the inventory component. So going to be this, the inventory manager, container, and slot. After initializing the widget, oh wait, this one is, here we go. After initializing it, we'll do a refresh. All right, nice. Next, actually, I'm going to move this up. Let's put that here. The native construct. So when we construct this widget, so what I want to do is to check if the confirm will do. We'll check the confirm button. If it exists, if it does exist, we'll take the confirm button and we'll do an unclick. Unclicked, remove all first, just to make sure we don't have any previous binding. Let's do confirm delete, and then we'll do unclicked dot add dynamic, and yep, great. Now let's do the same thing for the cancel delete button. Here we go. So now these buttons, and we'll do a refresh here. Cool. Okay, so that's great. And actually here we probably are going to need, wait, what is this? Oh, let me just do, okay, that looks a bit better. Let me just do include the inventory component, this one, and same for inventory component, the UI manager. I'm sure we are going to need them. Also, we are using the buttons and all that, so we are going to need components in button. Here we go. Also, let's keep going. Components, text block, include components. What else? Size box also. Is that it? The canvas panel, I think, also will need. Do we need it? We'll see. I'll add it if we need it anyway. So yeah. Next we'll do, let's do the set pop-up screen position. So we are receiving the screen position here. Let's check we check the pop-up root. Let's take the f vector to D. We'll call this pixel position, and an f vector to D. Let's do viewport position. The screen position. Yeah. So we got the screen position, we need to convert it to be able to know where in the viewport we are trying to. So we need to convert the screen position to know where in the viewport we are trying to put the pop-up. Alright, so we'll use a useLate library absolute to viewport. Needs get world position, pixel position, and viewport position. Alright, and then we'll check the canvas panel slot. There we go. We do need it. So here it is. Add this, the canvas slot. We'll do canvas slot. We'll cast the pop-up root slot. Can use this to we'll do set auto size. That can be true. Need the set alignment. We'll do 0.f by default. Yes. Let's continue. Canvas slot set position for position. Is this correct? I think so. Yeah, I think it's correct. We'll see. Anyway. Let's move on to the close request. Actually, let's keep this for now. What else? We've got the refresh. Let's do the refresh. So let's make sure we have a valid inventory component. Is valid, and oops, and then return if not. We'll do const f inventory entry. Let's make sure that whatever we are let's make sure that we do actually have an item that we are trying to delete. So whatever we are dragging around, let's make sure that it does have an entry. Let's get the database. We'll do item database, inventory component, get item database. From it we can get the item definition. Item definition by tag. Let's do entry and do item tag. So now we have the item definition. Great. What we'll do is use the item name text that we have on the widget, And so we can set it. So the name is going to be whatever we are trying to delete. What is this? So definition. Oh, wait. We don't have a name. So let me go to data, definition, item definition here. And I'm just going to copy this, leave it on top here, and do a f text. Call this item, item name. Alright, now we can give a name to an item. Let's close this, and then we'll use that name here, item name. Great, next we'll do the quantity text. We'll take the quantity text and set text. It's going to be f text. Let's do from string f print f text. We'll do x percentage d of the entry quantity. Here we go. So I'm adding this little x here just so we can get the this little x here in front of the number. You don't have to do this, but I just want to do. Great, so you're done with the refresh. Next is the handle confirm delete. So what happens when we click yes, we want to delete the item. So we'll do a make sure the inventory component is valid. If not, we'll just close the widget and return. If the container ID is not valid, nope. If it's not valid, or the indexed also is not valid, request to close and return. Why is this like that? What did I, oh, that shouldn't be here. Okay, const, let's do an f inventory entry to get the entry. Once we get the entry, let's make sure the entry has, we'll do this, let's make sure that it's valid, otherwise we'll just return. Great, so now we have the entry. And how do we delete an item? Well, we need to do a request, which is an f remove item request that we need to make. Let's call it the request. Then we'll use request container ID. We'll set the container ID for the request. Let's do requests.indexed request quantity, the entry quantity, and then we can do the inventory component, call request remove this request remove item, passing in the request that we just made, and after that we can just close the widget. Alright, so that's great. What else? Here in handle cancel, we are just going to close it. That's it. Nice. Alright, and yeah, we still have the request close to do. Oh, we don't need this apparently. Let me just delete this then. Okay, I thought we needed that. Oh wait, is it included here by accident? No, we don't need it. Okay, whatever. Yes, so what's next? So that is now the request to close is a bit different, so we'll need to go to the UI manager. Alright, in here we'll add two new functions. We'll do a void open delete item widget. That's a good start. So this will also need the const int 32 slot indexed const f vector to the position. Right, when we need to open it, we need to tell it where the item is, so in which container the item is, in what slot it is, and the screen position to open the actual widget. Great, and let's do a void close delete. Nope, don't need any of that. Close delete item widget. Great. Generate these. Alright, so now in open, what we want to do in open delete item widget. So let's do the basic checks. So first we need the inventory component, and two, we actually need the widget that we want to create. So let me go back here. I'm just gonna go down to, now it should be protected here. I'm going to add a U property. Let's do edit default only, blueprint read only is fine, and category inventory UI. It's going to be a T subclass of a UIT delete item widget, and it's complaining, so we'll just forward declare it and call this delete item widget class. There we go. And yeah, don't forget the forward declare here. Alright, so we can now check the delete item widget class. And let's do this. If it is not valid, we'll return, and it's complaining because we need to include it. So here's the include. Don't forget your includes. Right. Okay. All right. What else? Let's do a check for the container ID. Also the slot. Right, we'll return if these are not valid too. Next check, what we can do is let's check the entry that we got. So we are opening this widget to delete an item. Let's make sure that the item we are trying to delete is a valid item. So we'll do a const f inventory entry. We'll do entry. Let's check the entry and check if the quantity is not 0, because then there wouldn't be anything for us to delete. We'll close the widget here. Right, so I want to close the widget now, just in case. So I don't want to have multiple of them open. I want to have only one of these open at a time. So when we try to open one of these widgets, if we already have one open, I want to close it before opening a new one. All right, so we'll do that. Now let's create the actual widget. Well, actually, before we create the widget, we do need to make sure we have a player. Well, we need the player controller actually to be able to make the widget. So let's do a player controller. So player controller, and let's also make sure that the player controller is, let's do is locally control, is local controller. Yeah, because we only want to open because we don't want to open the widget for everyone, we just want to open it for us, the local player. Yeah, so that's that. What else? I think we can create the widget now. So let's do a UIT delete item widget. Let's call it delete widget. Then we can do create. There we go, create the widget. Now let's make sure that the widget has been created successfully. And we can do add to viewport, add the widget. And also I'm going to do 100 here. So Z order, this thing is just trying to put it on top of existing widget. So it's not buried underneath some other widget. It's like a priority kind of thing. Delete widget, this inventory component, contain and slot. Here we go. So we created it, we initialized it. Yep. Actually, you know what? We should maybe initialize it first, then add it to the viewport. Or actually, because this then will call request. This will call the refresh. So maybe we'll see, but I think that should be fine. So we'll add it, then this will initialize it and refresh it. Yeah. No, we'll see. If we have to change it, we'll change it. Let's do delete widget. Let's do set pop-up screen position using the screen position. Great. And after this, I want to keep track of the widget that we have open. If we have one open, so that we can close them. I want to keep track of this widget when I open it, so it's easier for us to close it after and to know if we have one open or not. So let's go to the private section. I'm going to add a U property, make it transient, T object pointer. Let's do a U delete item widget. Let's call it active delete item widget and set that to null. Alright, so now we have this. We can now set the active delete widget to the widget we just created. Okay, cool. And now we can work on closing it. So we just check if we have an active widget. If we do, we'll do a remove from parent, and we'll set this to null pointer. Easy. All right, so that's that. So that's how we open it. So we open the widget here. Okay, so now we need something to call this. So what's going to open the actual widget? I think we are done here for now, so I'm just going to close this. Oh, and the close request here. We can finally set this up, so we can do an if inventory UI manager. If it is valid, we can do inventory UI manager, close. We can do close, delete item widget, and return. Is not valid, we are still going to remove from parent. We don't want to have broken widgets staying open on the screen, so let's do that also. Right, so now we need to open this where are we going to actually open this widget? Let's go to the drag and drop here. Let's find the drag operation. So inside the drag operation here, I'm going to override a function. So there is a virtual void drag cancelled, not this one, cancel implementation. There we go. So this is called when we are dragging something and we release the drag button. So we are cancelling the drag operation. This is when we want to call the delete stuff. So if we are dragging an item and we release it on top of nothing, we want to ask the user if they want to delete the item, basically. So let's create this. All right, so what we want to do here is let's check the inventory component first. Let's make sure the container also is valid. The container is valid, and the slot indexed is also correct. Otherwise, we'll just return. Okay, and now we need the item that we are dragging around. So let's do f inventory entry. It added the include for me. Entry inventory component, and it added the inventory component also for me. Container ID slot indexed. Alright, so now we have the item that we are moving around. Great. What else do we need? We need the UI manager. We did not pass this in. It's okay. We can get that. So what I'm going to do is let's do an actor and do owner actor equals. Let's do the inventory component, get the owner, and then from there we can just do inventory UI manager. Just do UI manager. Oh, it did the include again for me. So we can get the UI manager from the owner actor. So we'll just do a find component by class, and this is the class that we are looking for. Great. And then we can use the UI manager that we just got and do open the widget, passing in all the information it needs. So the container ID, slot, and here is the cool thing. So the screen position, we can get that from the pointer event. So that's the mouse. So we can just do pointer event dot get screen position. There we go. Alright, so when we are dragging something around and we release it, we check if we actually do have a valid, and we initialize the widget with where the item is from and the screen position of the mouse. Alright, I think we are pretty much done here. So I'm going to compile all of this and let's see. So let's run this. Okay, so now we are back. One thing is go to the delete widget. We need to change the class. So let's go to class settings, parent class, to the new class that we just made, the delete item widget. That's important. The next things to do is to go to the third person and find the player controller again. And in the inventory UI, I think, yeah, in the UI manager here, we need to set this, we need to set the delete item widget so that it can create one. Great. What else? And the item actually. So if I go here and find my potion, now we have a item name. So we can give it a name. So I'm going to do small potion. Alright, cool. So I think we should be able to test this now. So let's see, I'm on the server. Let's see on the server, and then we'll test the client after. Okay, open the inventory, and let me just pick up this item. All good. Drag and drop. Hey, look at that. And now what if I say no? Nothing happens. Drag and drop here. It opens over here. If I say yes, it deletes it. Fantastic. Now let's check on the client if it does the same thing. Oh, I got a crash. Let's see. Let's try to follow the chain. You know what? Actually, the first thing I'm gonna do is close all of these and just close and rerun it. I'm hoping the error is due to us changing the class, the parent class of the widget. So that might be it. So I won't change anything, just close and rerun, and let's see. Alright, so I'm back here, and let's go client again and press play. Okay, so it's working this time. Yeah, so it was just because I changed the parent class of the widget. So everything is good. So if I try to delete the item, boom, delete, yeah, it works. Boom, if I say no, nothing happens. Boom, delete. And this is still working, but I think if I do this, okay, so that's something that we need to fix. So right now, if I drop it on the inventory here, you'll see if I drop it here, it still prompts me to, if I wanted to delete the item. And I believe it will, the same thing will happen if I try to drop it in between the slots. Let's see, yeah. So if I drop it in between the slots, it will also prompt me to delete the item. So we need to fix that. But I think that's it for today. Yep. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Alright guys, I got a good and a bad news. So the good, I guess we'll start with the bad one. The bad one is that I'm probably going to be stopping this inventory tutorial. If I'm not stopping it, I'll be slowing it down significantly because I'm quite busy, so I don't really have time to record these. And yeah, and I guess the good news is that I'm going to be releasing the inventory system that I made as a plugin, and it will be free. So you can just get it. So the next video that I'm going to be releasing will be the release of the inventory plugin that will be very similar to this one. So if you want to continue working on this, all you have to do is just get the plugin and dissect it and learn from it and modify it the way you want. That's up to you. But anyway, yeah, but I'm going to be releasing that plugin, and I'll release a video with it explaining how to use it, and all that good stuff. So yeah. Anyway, see you in the next one.